Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, presented by Indy Moore Honda of Bloomington.
Looks over the middle, second guesses, fires, throws. Does he make the catch in the end zone? Yes! Touchdown! Oladipo to win it.
Another one!
He got it!
Another one! Huge hole! He's at the 30! He's gonna go! 10, 5, touchdown! Jonathan Taylor!
Worked out by Burke. Bounces into Cody. Puts it up. Scores!
Now, from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, here's your host, Jim Coyle.
Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you are ready for the weekend. If not, we're going to get you started regardless. Alec Lasley joining us here. Start off the show today. Plenty to talk about basketball-wise with recruiting, the Peach Jam, what's coming up, what's happened, offers. There's tons. You need a scorecard. And luckily, Alec can help you get that cleaned up. How's it going, Alec?
Good. How are you doing?
I cannot complain. It's been a big week. Football, big recruits, just tons of things that normally this is a nice, slower time, but I'm not complaining. No one in this business, our business, is complaining. It's been a lot busier than normal, it seems, this time of year, because we're coming out of COVID and people getting to do things they weren't able to do before. These visits, the live and dead periods, there weren't any live dead periods last year. So traveling, everybody getting around, coaches getting out, seeing players. We know that Mike Woodson and the staff are going to be at the IBCA camp in October. That's the only camp that they're really doing. But just a ton going on, and it's around the country. It's not just here, but more so this year because Indiana is so seriously involved in these players. Before, it was basically in name only. They were involved in name only because recruits from out of state were not coming to Indiana to play for Archie Miller. That is no longer the case, but it's really changed because there was so much of locking down the borders and getting the Indiana kids. And this staff, as I've said, just probably missed getting a lot of these kids. Trey Kaufman, I think, would have been a flip had this happened sooner. Other than that, Jalen Washington, was a big loss for the state. But that, again, that's one that they were just so late on, Alec, that I don't know when anyone expected. And he wasn't expected to go anywhere else. He wasn't going to Purdue. He's big time, so he was going to go to either Indiana or where he went.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing with Indiana is obviously, just like you touched on, the in-state kids that went elsewhere before this new staff was able to actually get in there, get kind of settled in and start to really put their focus on those kids. Jalen Washington, I think, he's one of those guys. He was always going to be a tough get for Indiana, no matter who was the coach. That region up in Gary is just a very difficult region for Indiana to recruit. Typically, at least recently, have not really been able to get guys out of there. So to see him go elsewhere wasn't a super big shock, especially after June passed and he didn't even make a visit to campus. I think everyone at that point realized, even halfway through the month, that wasn't going to happen. So that wasn't too much of a big hurt for Indiana. I don't think, just because they're in play with so many other top players around the country, and they're really set up for a great 2023 class. Obviously, we're still in 2022, but that 2023 class, this staff has really put a huge priority on, because at this point they kind of know roughly what they're going to have with 2022. You look at Caleb Banks, Noah Clowney, Jalen Hood-Schifino. Those are kind of those top three guys that you pretty much look at, and you're probably going to get at least one of them, if not two, and then a guy kind of lower at that radar who is really shooting up not only his recruitment, but also the level in which he's playing, is Bryce Sensabaugh out of Florida, kind of a bigger wing as well. So I think that's your core four. And again, just like you said, you look at it, and all four of those players are out of the state and out of the Midwest. None of those guys are still in the Midwest, so they're really opening up the borders to go nationally for a lot of these players, and that's what they need to do if they want to get back a lot quicker than what it took over the past 6, 7, 8 years, and that's what they're prioritizing. And you're going to continue to see that as long as Mike Woodson and the staff is in place in Indiana.
Yeah, I think that what you're going to see is a mixture, more of a mixture that begins next season, the year after that, where they're getting the top kids in Indiana and top kids from around the country, which is, you want to be elite? There you go. That's what you have to be. For an Indiana school, I don't think you have to have the elite kids in your state, but with the amount of talent that is produced in Indiana, it would be a little embarrassing not to get it and kind of a loss not to get it. But there's a lot to go around. But even with that, you still have to get the elites from outside the state, because you could build a team on nothing but Indiana players. I don't think you could build a national championship team unless it just happened to be perfect timing-wise that every position was elite at that time. I mean, you have to remember that. It's not just one guy. So if that were the case, possibly. But you go back and look at all the great Bob Knight teams built off of the Midwest players, but not only, there was always somebody else. Like I said, whether it was Dean Garrett and Keith Smart, or Joe Hillman, all guys that were not from Indiana, that were integral parts in a national championship team. It's just, and now, forget it. Now we're talking about the ability to transfer at will, name, image, likeness deals all over the place. So there's so much more that goes into it that it's crazy. But and you have a coach that's never coached in college, which again, no issue there. Actually, maybe that is actually working to his advantage, Alec. These guys just see him as an NBA guy, and maybe that's an advantage, at least for some of these elite players.
Yeah, and I think you look at what's going on at Carolina too. We talked about it last week with Hubert Davis, same kind of thing. Both come in, and those two have probably been the hottest on the recruiting trail this offseason, with getting not only transfers to come in, but securing guys and making sure that they stay in that program, and then going out on the recruiting trail and at least getting a couple high profile guys to come to their program. And I think you touched on it a little bit, is they don't know exactly what Mike Woodson's team is going to look like starting this fall or even moving forward. But the fact that they know where he's been, where he's been throughout his playing career, his career, they know what it takes. They know that he knows what it takes for them to actually get there, how to develop them, how to actually push them, and where he's able to pick out their weaknesses instead of just look at their strengths. I think that's a huge turn on for a lot of these players, knowing that Indiana has that history, has that tradition, that's going to stick there forever. But now having a coach that actually has an NBA pedigree and knows how to get players there, I think that's something that is really pushing Mike Woodson over the top right now. And we'll see, obviously, how long that lasts and that kind of honeymoon phase lasts going into the season and going into next year. But as of right now, there's not much more he could have done up to this point that would have put Indiana and himself in a better position.
We're going to talk about specific recruits in the next segment, specific Indiana targets, what they've done this week. What all has the Peach Jam is going on, obviously, in Atlanta. That's the only thing going on this week. But what else is going on this weekend? Are there other things that are happening?
Yeah, there's a few other events in Louisville, Fort Wayne, in the Indy area. Most of the top players around the country are in Peach Jam. They extended that 2 weeks, so it's not just the normal week that they usually have, just because Nike didn't have another live evaluation period. So this is going to go on through next weekend as well. So a lot of those players are kind of in that quote unquote bubble down in that area. So you're going to see some more names like Xavier Booker, Jalen Hooks are out in Louisville. Outside of that, there's a couple other somewhat notable players kind of in the Dallas area as well. But Peach Jam is definitely the biggest one for the next probably 7 days.
Looking forward to that. Talking about those when we come back next week. The events that are going on this weekend. We'll be able to talk about the Peach Jam today, which we'll do in the next segment. What all is happening in Louisville?
I mean, like I said, it's just another big event for a lot of the kind of Midwestern teams. Some of those that aren't on the Nike circuit that didn't go to Peach Jam. So you're going to see some Adidas teams, some in Dallas, and then also some who didn't get there out to Louisville. So a lot of those teams are going to be more in the kind of Midwestern area, though. Like I said, with Xavier Booker, Jalen Hooks, you're going to have a few other Indiana local guys, but those are probably the two bigger names for Indiana fans if they're looking at that schedule and at that roster out there.
Here's something that I've noted on Twitter this week. With the offer to Reed Sheppard, I think that's a couple of firsts. Number one, that will probably be the first Kentucky legacy offered by Indiana that I recall in my memory. Jeff Sheppard, his father, played for Rick Pitino on a national championship team. And Reed Sheppard is lighting it up, apparently, shooting lights out of the ball. But then you've got, is it Caleb Banks? It's in Louisville?
Caleb Glenn.
And then there's another kid from Kentucky that they have offered, I think.
Those are the two main ones that they've offered. There's a couple more with some slight interest, but if you're going to focus on,
there's not a third offer. I thought there may have been a third offer.
No, those are the two right now, and those are kind of the two main guys out of that Kentucky area that you look at that I think Indiana is going to at least remain involved with moving forward as long as they can. I think they have obviously a better chance of sticking a lot longer for Caleb Glenn than they would Reed Sheppard. I think everyone kind of looks at that as a Kentucky kind of shoe-in right now. But Caleb Glenn, a lot of people thought that was more of a Louisville push, but it seems to be a lot more wide open than just Louisville at the moment for Caleb Glenn.
The point I was making, and Tony pointed out James Blackman Jr., but what I was saying is a UK legacy that is still from and living in the state of Kentucky is what I meant. The Blackmans, of course, from and live in Indiana. But the fact that there are two kids from the state of Kentucky with offers right now, that has never in my lifetime happened. Part of it is they don't produce a ton of talent, so you don't have a lot of big time offers. But Indiana just didn't go there much. I mean, I can count on one hand in my memory how many times they've recruited a kid from there. But so to see this staff, they're throwing the net out. They don't care who their dad is. They don't care where they live. They're going after the best kids, and you have to love that. Now, are they going to get a kid like Reed Sheppard? Yeah, I really doubt that. I would highly doubt. I cannot see a kid from London, Kentucky, whose dad played for Kentucky and Rick Pitino in an era that kind of rejuvenated them coming to Indiana. No, I don't see that. But to see them recruiting that kid, I like it. I like it. As from a strategic standpoint, they have blinders on, and you have to love that.
Yeah, and again, they're going after the top talent around the country. They don't really care not only where they're at, but who's involved in their recruitment. They're coming in there with the utmost confidence that if they do what they can and they secure a visit from any of these guys, they have the confidence that they're going to land any player who steps foot on campus. I mean, and you saw that even before kids were able to come and visit with all the additions that Indiana made this offseason. So this staff has a lot of confidence in their ability to recruit, their ability to coach, and their ability to develop. And they aren't really holding back when it comes to the offers, and especially not holding back when it comes to the competition anymore at this point.
We're going to take a break, come back, and talk specifically about who's doing what at the Peach Jam right now, who's looking at them, and all that. The USA men's basketball pre-Olympic exhibition game with Australia, scheduled for yesterday, was canceled out of an abundance of caution. Hate hearing those words. Heard those so much last year. We know what that means. So let's just keep our fingers crossed. But we're back with more right after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington.
Hey, Hoosier fans, whether you're looking... Okie dokie. Let's see here. Where did I go? Where did my information go that I just had pulled up? Oh, there it is. All right. Who is doing... Geez, there's so many names.
Yep.
Phillipkowski. Let's see. Who you just give me the list you want to start with.
All right, Bryce Sensabaugh.
Bryce. Is his first name Bryce?
Bryce, yeah.
Yeah, Sensabaugh. Where is he from?
Florida.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Is he at the IMG?
No, he's at it's Lake Highland or something. It's not IMG. Gotcha. It's a normal high school.
Matter. Next.
Jeremy Fears. Caleb Glenn.
Where's Fears from?
He was at La Lumiere. Sounds like he's going to go back to Joliet, Illinois, to play for with his brother, who's going to be a freshman there, I believe, next year.
Where was Caleb? Oh, Caleb Glenn is in Louisville. Merrill High School?
Yep.
All right.
Obviously, Phillipkowski.
Where's he
Gunn. Who? Phillipkowski?
Yeah.
He's from the New York, New England area.
All right. CJ Gunn. Anybody else?
Yeah, then you have Vincent Uwachukwu.
Say it again.
Vincent Uwachukwu. If there's anyone that we don't need to talk about as much, it'll probably be him. He's kind of
because he's got a last name that no one can say.
And then those are like the main group of guys, pretty much that have been with IU for an extended period of time. Obviously, you have other guys that IU had been involved with, but aren't really involved with anymore at the moment. Cohen Carr is another one, 23, but I've only watched one of his.
Caleb Glenn.
You good, Jim? What? Okay, well, we'll come back in.
On the links at Eagle Point in Bloomington, then stay for dinner at Sam's Clubhouse. Sam's Restaurants, professionals in the art of food and drink. This segment is brought to you by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Here's Jim Coyle.
TGIF, thank goodness it's Friday, and it is. Alec Lasley's here with me right now. We've been talking about recruiting, and we will continue with that in this segment. Specifically talking about some guys that are playing right now down in Atlanta at the Peach Jam, the culmination of the EYBL circuit, correct?
Yep.
The Nike circuit. The Adidas teams, they play on their own deals. They don't play in that. They don't go to others. It's kind of sad sometimes that you don't see some of these teams play against each other, but nobody cares anymore. It is what it is. It's such a flipped up deal. But Bryce Sensabaugh, we've mentioned his name a couple of times from Florida. Someone that the staff are looking at quite intently.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. He's a late offer. Indiana offered him just about, I would say, 3 weeks ago now. A guy who missed all of last year due to a knee injury, so he's been kind of off the grid for a while. Not ranked among many of the recruiting services if people really want to get into the details about the rankings, but he's a guy who is definitely going to be in the next rollout. It's kind of a 6'6", more of a bigger body, pretty athletic, really good frame, but he's someone who's been probably the most impressive player over the last few days down there out of anyone. He had a 27-point performance in his first game, or in his second game, been in double digits every single game, had another 18-point game last night. And he's someone who comes off the bench for his AAU program as well. He plays with Bruce Thornton, a guy who Indiana was out for a while, a couple other high major guys as well that are in the top 30, top 40. So their roster's loaded, and he's been the best player on that roster for this entire week. Guy can shoot the lights out of the ball, play a few different positions, and he's actually been at the top of their full court press for most of their defensive possessions. Wow. He flies around. Yeah, he flies around the floor and really just does everything that you need out of any sort of player on the floor, and can guard and play a few different positions. So he's someone that I really like. I've been extremely impressed with his performance, and I know a lot of other people have as well over the past 3-4 days.
He sounds like a cross between OG Anunoby and Juwan Morgan. Kind of a diamond in the rough find, 6'6", 230. You don't see many kids in high school carrying that kind of weight. I mean, usually 6'6" kids are 215 maybe, but he's got the bulk on him, like you said. That matters because he's already used to carrying it. So when he gets to college, he doesn't have to add a lot of bulk, just strength.
He's a tremendous ball handler too. He has a lot of good guard skills that allow him to be at the top of the key and take people off of the dribble. There are multiple times where he, over the past few days, where he's not just dribbling to dribble, he actually dribbles with a purpose. And I think that gets lost with a lot of these AAU games. He does a phenomenal job getting to wherever he wants to get on the floor, and can make plays off of the dribble better than those guys that you were just talking about for Indiana. So he's one of those guys that I would keep an eye on for IU as kind of one of these late bloomers for the class of 2022.
Yeah, when you see an unranked 3-star being chased by a staff like Indiana, that should tell you all you need to know, because I'm sure other offers will be forthcoming. But yeah, if you can get a kid like that locked down early, that would be huge, because he sounds like a high ceiling player. Kyle Phillipkowski, we know he's a high ceiling player.
Yeah, and he had probably one of the best opening day performances. He had 19 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists in that opener. Was 9 of 10 from the floor. His skill set is one that you don't typically see with a 6'10" guy, especially in high school. He's extremely developed at this stage and can do a lot with the ball on when he's on the ball and also when he's off the ball. Kind of more of that versatile step out, hit a three, can take you off the dribble as well, can take you full court. But yeah, he's a guy that has kind of been trending a little bit lower on Indiana's radar. Once he got that Duke offer, that's kind of the team that you look at as that team to beat for Phillipkowski. But yeah, he's going to be someone wherever he goes is going to be tremendous from day one, right when he steps on campus.
Caleb Glenn, kid out of Louisville, male high school. Talked about earlier that it's rare that Indiana is recruiting kids from Louisville or from Kentucky, and right now they've got offers to 2. One of which is just highly unlikely in Reed Shepherd. But this one, I see the opposite, because for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'll have to go back and look, but it can't be many. How many guys has Mick Cronin put in the NBA? Mick Cronin. Chris Mack put in the NBA. Not a ton. And I think that there's problems coming for Louisville for the NCAA. That's got to be in the back of your mind. And you know that Woody is an NBA guy. So I think that they may have an advantage on this kid over Louisville.
Yeah, and the fact that before he had an Indiana offer, he took an unofficial visit already this summer. Then he got the offer after that. So he was interested in Indiana before. But he's one of these guys. He has probably one of the better frames for kind of a 3-4 mix in the class of 2023 that I've seen in a while. Super physical guy, can play around the rim with the best of them, no matter who he's going against. Tremendous rebounder, tremendous athlete, great length. So he's one of these guys that if you look at Indiana's roster, he's one of those guys that they've really been missing on for the past few seasons, is that bigger wing, athletic wing, but someone who comes in with a college body already. And he's one of those guys that I think you look at as, if you're able to snag him in the class of 23 to go along with who they're already after, that would kind of set Indiana up for the next few years, because he's one of these guys that hasn't even reached his potential or is even close to his potential. And once he starts knocking down his outside shot a little bit more consistently, he's going to be one of these guys that you're not going to want to see on the floor in any college game.
Well, not against you. But yeah. Getting those guys, that would Remy. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank right now. The last, from last kid. But this is a completely different type of player. I think he is Caleb Glenn. I think he is a Mike Woodson type player. I really do. It's weird. I don't know why I'm saying that, but it just seems that way. Let's see. I already talked about Phillipkowski. I got him out of order. My bad. CJ Gunn. That is a name that he committed early to IU, committed to Archie Miller. The staff is not under no obligation to honor that, but they have honored that offer that's still out there. But we've seen with this staff, offers are really nice, but there's no guarantee to the offers. It seems like on this, you still have to earn that final offer. It seems like an offer is the initial offer, but these are not final offers right now. And I think you have to earn a final offer. And CJ Gunn is one of those players that I think is going to have to earn that final offer from Mike Woodson's staff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, I mean, you look at what he did towards the end of Lawrence North's season last year, is really the player that you're going to end up seeing next year. They just had so much talent around that roster and a much different style of play that really didn't suit him for being as athletic and a guy who can really get out in transition and use that athleticism. It just wasn't really on display for most of the season. You saw that a little bit earlier this summer with Indy Heat as well. And they just have a loaded roster. So he's never going to be the guy on Indy Heat as well, especially playing with a guy like Fletcher Lawyer, who is absolutely scorching the Nets with his summer. But so far through the first few games, he's had a very good tournament. He's been extremely aggressive to start the game, has sparked most of those early runs for Indy Heat, got in the lane, got that elevation back that I think he lost a little bit earlier this summer with that ankle injury that he had. But one thing that I think would really help CJ Gunn in his development is not so much his overall skill set, but just his mindset and not settling so much for mid-range jump shots. He's a tremendous shooter, tremendous mid-range jump shooter, but there's just been too many times that I've seen him settle for those 15 to 17-foot jumpers instead of taking one or two more dribbles as he has the defender beat and getting to the lane. He's a really good free throw shooter, but he just doesn't shoot a lot of free throws. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want to see from him going forward is attack the rim a lot more, get to the free throw line, see some shots go down, because he's one of these guys where if he gets off to a hot start, it's going to be difficult to kind of slow him down, but he can be streaky at times. So I think that's the biggest thing that I'd like to see in his development is just attack the rim more and be more aggressive at not just settling for jump shots and getting past that defender.
Yeah, and the coach Woody has shown that you're going to have to fight for these scholarships. Now, I will note that since the summer AAU season started and these guys that have received these IU offers have played well. I've seen CJ Gunn's play increase. He has really started to light it up. He had 30-point games and started to really play much harder. I think he saw that, hey man, this is a competition, which is exactly what the Mike Woodson staff want. They want these scholarship offers to be competing with each other for this offer. They want the best of the best. And that's what his plan is. There's going to be a lot of guys offered by Indiana that don't come here, and not all of them, an abundance of them might not be because they turned Indiana down, but it's because Indiana ultimately, I hate to use the word turn them down, but used a different option. But hey, it's going to be different. Things are going to be different. CJ Gunn, of all the one difference between him and everyone else we've spoken about, he's the only kid that's from Indiana. How much does that matter? You thinking? I know that I've just said that it doesn't. We've talked about that, but to not recruit any Indiana kids, would that send a bad message? I mean, I know they are recruiting, but to not bring any Indiana kids in.
I think CJ Gunn's going to be a Hoosier no matter what. He's gonna have a good career at Indiana, and I think he's a really good piece to this 2022 class. Especially with all the other pieces that they're going after. So he's going to be fine. He's going to be an Indiana Hoosier, and he's going to have a good career. I think looking past that though, it's going to be important to make sure that you don't lose those in-state kids, especially the top one or two in the state. In these next few classes, they look to be some of the top talent, not only in the state, but also in the country here, especially with a guy like Xavier Booker with that potential that he has, and Indiana's in on him extremely hard already. So it's going to be important, at least every single class, to get at least one Indiana kid, just not to, turn off any of these coaches. And I think Mike Woodson knows that. He's obviously an Indiana guy. He knows what it means to play at Indiana. And he knows that pride, especially for some of those in-state kids too, what it means. So in order to kind of build this program up from where it's at now, you're going to need to still recruit these Indiana kids, because they're still going to be the backbone of the program. And most of these guys are at least going to be there for more than 1 year. And that's what you really need, especially from Indiana kids.
Is it safe to say that Xavier Booker is number one on that list for the 22 class for kids from Indiana?
For class of 23, he's
or three,
if
three
not
rather.
one, he's 1A and 1B. I would say with him. So he's going to be that top guy that Indiana would be going after. If you look at the other ones, I think Jeremy Fears was at La Lumiere. He's going to be a guy that Indiana is going to be going after extremely hard as well. Both him and Booker have a lot of interest in Indiana already. Both have already taken visits. Both took visits without receiving an offer, and then received an offer on the visit. So they were interested in Indiana for a long time before that offer as well. Those are the two guys that I would put kind of at the top for the class of 2023 for Indiana, and both guys within the top 50 in the country as well.
And watching Xavier Booker play against Jalen Washington, to me, when I saw him, he clearly outplayed Jalen Washington. I mean, not even close. The skill set was different to me on the floor visually, and I'm like, wow, which was shocking since there is a age difference there. But man, Xavier Booker is the real deal, and he is a newer age basketball player, a big that can move, great footwork, can shoot, can handle the ball to a degree. He's a really, really good player.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of these college coaches are looking at, is he still is kind of raw with some of his overall skill set. But when you look at him, when he gets on the floor, the things that he can do with the ball is not something a typical 6'10" big guy as a rising junior can do. right? That's not something that you typically see out of these guys. A guy who can handle the ball on the perimeter and be able to take a guy off the dribble. And that's something that if you can do that at this age, you're going to be recruited by a lot of schools, and that's obviously what he's been able to do.
Something that I've been talking about, Trace Jackson Davis. All right, everybody in the world thinks he's leaving after this season to go to the NBA. And I keep saying, okay, well, he's got a lot of improving to do to me, for an NBA team to take him. Because I know NBA teams, they draft on what they think that your prospects are, not necessarily what you are at the moment, but his prospects, he hasn't shown improvement in the areas that he needs to improve, which we know that. But to me, that means he's got a big monkey on his back this year, because how in the world do you go to the NBA if you don't show great improvement on that this season?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that I'll say with him is you also have to look at it the other way. He's been there now approaching his third season. He's had now 2 full summers outside of the COVID summer last year to actually develop his game in the gym with all these guys. So if he doesn't improve that jump shot, which everyone knows is the main thing that he needs to be able to do, not necessarily from the perimeter, but at least out past the free throw line. If it doesn't happen this year, what's going to say it's going to happen after one more summer? So his draft stock is just going to continue to go down the longer he stays in college, just because not a knock against him, obviously, but just if he's not able to develop that jump shot now, he's going to be older. So he's going to be a year older. He's going to have less NBA experience than obviously any of these other kids who are even going to be coming from the G League. So there's just not a lot of time for him to actually develop that if he continues to stay in college. That's why I would be absolutely stunned if after this season he returns, just because there's not much more he's going to be able to do if he's not able to produce that jump shot this year.
Yeah, without question, he's obviously shown great ability, and like Tim mentions here, Kofi Coburn told by NBA scouts he needs to work on a perimeter game. Yeah, Kofi Coburn's a different animal, but yeah, he doesn't have one either. But he at least has a little more beef he can throw around. Alec, what is coming up next for you at the Hoosier.com?
Yeah, so obviously a busy weekend with a ton of events going on. So we'll have everything up on the site, whether it's Peach Jam, whether it's any of these other events as well. And then we'll be on the road at some of the local events too. And then the newest hot board for 2022 and then 23, we'll have the first installment of that one next week, and be able to really kind of narrow in on a lot of these prospects that Indiana's going after.
Hey, I forgot to mention Hood Schifino. Man, one of the bigger names. I failed to mention him.
Yeah, he only played in 1 game so far. So some of the other guys have played in 2 or 3. Just the schedule. Just because it's 2 weeks. So a lot of the teams may be front heavy earlier in the week, and some teams may be front or back heavy as the weekends. Just all scheduling. But he had a tremendous opening game. 19 points, 6 assists. Did a lot with the ball. Really, really solid ball handler, athlete, can guard a few positions and play both guard positions as well. So he's obviously one of those guys that Indiana has at the top of their list for 2022.
Alec Lasley is with the Hoosier.com, Indiana Rivals, and they have everything covered there. You can go there for complete coverage all weekend at the Hoosier.com. Get signed up for free if you haven't. Alec, can't tell you how much I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it. Hopefully we get some good weather this weekend.
Where are you going to be?
I'll be in between a little bit of Fort Wayne and then the local Indianapolis one as well. So I'll be up there for one of the days.
Maybe I'll head to Louisville and check out Xavier Booker. But yeah, plenty of action going on. We'll make sure you keep covered on it. Be back here on Monday to talk about it. Maybe we'll get Alec in on Monday to talk about it. But Alec, you have a great weekend, man, and enjoy it.
Appreciate it, guys. You too.
You bet. Hey, we're back with more right after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Whether you're looking for a relaxing night.
Yeah, Verdell coming at 10.
Yeah.
See, I tried confirming with him. I haven't heard yet, but I figured you might know. And is he, if he does join, is he planning on staying the rest of the show?
No, probably for either a long segment or 2 segments.
Okay.
I'm trying to get Leary to join in the middle of the second segment and then go out from there.
Gotcha.
Shake it up. Well, we probably haven't changed much.
All right, let's go ahead and bring us back in.
Hey, Hoosier fans, whether you're looking for a new or a used vehicle, Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington's got you covered. They're Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer for a reason. For deals like this, how about a new 2020 Honda Civic LX front-wheel drive lease for just $180 a month? Or a new 2021 Honda Accord LX front-wheel drive lease for just $270 a month. Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer.
Come see us at the all-new Andy Moore Honda, now in Bloomington.
This segment is brought to you by Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Here's Jim Coyle.
Welcome back on this Friday. Hope you've had a great week, and if not, are ready for the weekend. You know, we've talked a lot about the problems with the Olympics and the COVID. USA basketball lost a couple of exhibition games. Now they've lost Bradley Beal. Will not be able to play because of COVID. Who's going to replace him? So they've got a lot going on there. I mean, that's just, I hope this Olympics is able to not turn into a mess, because it shouldn't be. It just shouldn't be. When you have the time to prepare that they did, I'm more than shocked that the Japanese, who are always ahead of the game seemingly on most things, are not. Let's see. What are y'all talking about? A puppy over here on the no puppy abuse today. Well, Yeah, it's been very quiet. That's good. John's wife is off to work, so she's off work, so she's keeping her company. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, so that's nice? A good way to keep from the yapping going on right now.
Yeah, feel free to hit us up on the Andy Moore Honda hotline on YouTube Live if you are joining us. David says, is it bad that he wants Indiana to get at least one of the Kentucky kids as much as he wants the Indiana kids just to kind of stick it to Calipari? No. There's never. I don't. I try to always stay down the middle with everything. I don't really go too hard to hide my bias against Kentucky. I'm just not a Kentucky fan. Never have been, never will be. But I don't know that they'll only recruit Reed Shepherd because he's a legacy probably, although he's good enough and they need him. I think that they are going to like to show people that they could wait until the last minute and come in on him and just flash the UK badge and have him jump in the car and drive away. And that is very likely since with all the scenarios with his dad and all that. But who knows? Now, the Caleb Glenn kid, I think that's different. I think Indiana I think they've got a good shot at him. A legit shot. It would give him a really good place to play close to home. He's an hour and a half to Louisville. So family would just absolutely love that. And much better education. And a program that is probably going in a different direction, up. Louisville is kind of stagnant right now. And with the shadows of the NCAA looming, I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. So we just mentioned, we were talking about CJ Gunn earlier. Unfortunately for him, he broke his left wrist, which is not his shooting wrist, in the Pete's Jam. He's going to be out a couple of weeks, 2 to 5 weeks. I'm actually reading this from Rabbi's tweet. He fell on his left wrist when he was bumped on a drive and put out his hand to brace his fall. So there's that. We just talked about CJ. I hate to hear that, but that stuff comes. It will slow him down a little bit, but probably not much. You can still keep doing a lot of other things. Probably gives him time to work on some specific things that he wouldn't do in any other time. But you hate seeing that, especially going into his. But it's a non-shooting, so again, it's not that big of a deal. Just kind of a pain. But hopefully he gets over that quickly. So there's that. Let's see. Other news that we haven't talked about today. The British Open's going on. I didn't get to catch any of that yesterday. Byron Buxton, $70 million offer. I'll take that right now. How about the NCAA's Mark Emmert proposes a smaller governing role, more power to conferences? Well, you think he sees the writing on the wall, but this is how it should be because the NCAA cannot handle all. They've shown time and again they can't do it. They cannot do it. But will the conferences be able to police their schools? Are they going to pay for that? I know that they have the money, but NCAA President Mark Emmert discussed a different vision for the future of college sports yesterday, one in which the NCAA has a smaller governance role while conferences and schools are giving more decision-making power. I'm confident we need to reconsider delegation of a lot of things that are now done at the national level, Emmert told a small group of reporters on Thursday. It should only be at that level if it's the only place it can get done. If that's the only place it makes sense to have a rule developed and enforced, like a 3-point rule, shot clock, NIL. In June, the Supreme Court unanimously ruled against the NCAA, saying the governing body can't limit educated. Yeah, so now they've been shown that they can't have their monopoly, and now they're suggesting maybe we shouldn't be a monopoly. Maybe we should break up Ma Bell here. Geez, you guys are smart. Of course. But this is all common sense stuff. And had they done this at the beginning, we wouldn't be in this position. Let's see. Caleb Glenn and coach were blown away after his IU visits, according to he's going to get on one of Logan Duncan's mullet shirts. Oh, I didn't see the mullet shirt. Is there the mullet shirt out there? Rocking the mullet? I know he's rocking the mullet, but is he rocking the mullet, Schultz? Oh, Jennifer Lance got it taken care of. She's got one. And they're good quality, she says. We need a photo, Jennifer. I just send a picture. I need to see this mullet shirt. Man, I'll do some unintended advertising. David saw where the Pacers are trying to make a deal to bring Eric Gordon home. We talked a little bit about that. Talked about it with Chris Denari yesterday. You can go back and listen to that. On YouTube Live, that clip, just a Denari clip, we talked about the possibility of Eric Gordon. Tim says he can't wait to see Bill Elliott and son Chase Elliott race against each other this Saturday in Nashville in the Tony Stewart SRX series. I need to get Tony Stewart on here sometime. Yeah, that's kind of a cool deal. I mean, you're looking at Bill Elliott, who was a peer of Dale Earnhardt and was a monster of the series. And now his son is one of those, and they're getting to race against each other. That's pretty cool. I don't think I've watched one of those races yet. But yeah, I like the concept for certain. What other cool things? Talk about this mullet shirt. What other cool things out there have you guys seen that you like? And are there some things that you have seen that you don't like? Obviously, Jennifer says she saw and got that shirt already. That's amazing. Man, send it to the text line. You got an image here. Oh, let's see. Just want to open sesame. Oh, man. All right, I got to send this to John. This is hilarious. Has everybody seen this besides me? Am I John, the producer? Did you know about the mullet shirt?
No, but I'm very excited. I'm glad that I get to see this. This should be good.
We're all going to get to see it, because I'm going to text it to you.
Yeah. I'll put it up here.
Let's see. Oh my goodness, live radio, man. We're just doing it live right now. But boom. Oh man, what the hell did that come from, boys? We'll get it up here in a second, but yeah, I didn't even think about that. So who else has stuff going? Who else has things that are out there that are up and going that you all have seen? I'm not talking about the cameo stuff and that. I'm talking about actual stuff. Any commercials, anything like that? Have you seen anybody doing anything? Have you seen anything that's dumb? Or if you see anything that's like, wow, that's cool. Yeah, there it is as well. Oh, it's from the Bison people. The Bison shirt people. That's the Leo. They do the Leo. Let's see. Let me move that.
Hey, Jim, I found it. I'm getting uploaded right now.
Well, good. After all that wasted time, but yeah, I'm reserving my thoughts on it as I'm looking at it. I guess that works. Yeah. I think I would have viewed, there's no mention of the mullet. I think I would have incorporated that somehow into that. The mullet is coming to Bloomington or something. But yeah, it just says Logan Duncombe on the top. He doesn't have it pulled up yet. Bloomington, Indiana. It's one big circle. And inside the circle is a
it's taking a second, but it's loading. As soon as I get it loaded, we'll pull it up.
Side preview of a looks like a cross between Logan Duncombe and Gundy from Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good description. Here we go. Here's the shirt.
Mike Gundy. There you go. Yeah, that looks like Mike Gundy to me. If you're listening on radio, obviously it's not doing you any good. But for those of you on YouTube Live, you can see the shirt is red. I wonder if they offer them in not reverse colors. But anyway, red shirt, everything, the white lettering is white. It's one big circle. Logan Duncombe on the top and a circular, Bloomington, Indiana circular on the bottom, and then a picture in the middle that looks more like Mike Gundy to me than it does Logan Duncombe.
Yeah, especially if you don't
because
put
of the
his name on it.
sunglasses.
Yeah.
Because of the sunglasses. Because he's always wearing those sunglasses. But there you go. Jennifer said she saw, let's see. I gotta get over there. These stupid notifications are driving me insane. They're blocking Mother. Jennifer saw Lander tweeted about crumble cookies. And she also thinks it looks like Kenny Powers. Ooh, there's a great throwback. Oh my gosh. And speaking of which, John, that's some clips you need to always have. Some Kenny Powers clips. You can never go wrong with Kenny Powers clips. Duncombe tweeted that out yesterday, apparently, to Chris Lewis. So I think make sure I didn't miss any. David, it says, is this an NIL thing was going on when Priller were here? He'd retired from IU, the cash he made from the shirts. Yeah, he would have. That would have been his biggest impact on the program, without question. Would have been in the NIL. I just missed that. Michelle, she liked Miller Kopp's vlog. Michelle Reuter. I didn't know he had a vlog, so there's that. There's so much out there. It's hard to keep track of. That's why I got to ask you guys. You all know more about that stuff than I do. Kind of going back. Wyatt, we'll get to this question. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have Verdell Jones. Wyatt, we'll get to this question then. Back with more after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington.
Hey, Hoosier fans, whether you're Hey.
What?
I got this message from
who?
Scott Fisher, who's the guy that hooked me up with Jonathan.
Yes.
I'm sending you the message, but he left his phone, laptop at home. He is with him right now. He left his phone, laptop at home on accident. They're on the ferry to New York City, and he won't be able to get it done. So you're on deck.
Well, I'll see what I can do, but If
Well,
not, we'll
what
make it
you
work.
can do when you have any problems, get him on the phone.
Okay.
Because there should be several clips that can come out of today.
No, I'll still be able to do clips today. It's not going to change anything there.
Well, I know, but I hate to make any changes.
We'll be
Alex,
fine.
because we can do 2 clips with Alec.
Yeah.
Damn, Todd can't come on, man. All right,
And we still don't have Verdell yet. He said, I'm sure he'll be on it shortly, but
he texted me.
here we go.
There he is,
There
right
we
there.
Morning, Verdell.
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing good. I'm going to go ahead and bring us back in.
Sam's Restaurant has multiple locations and something for everyone. Sam's Restaurant in Fishers has homemade coffee cakes and much more. Sam's Place in Broad Ripple has wings, tender steaks, and seafood. Sam's Ale House in Carmel and on 86th Street in Indy have a long list of craft beers and all of the right foods to go with. Plan a day on the links at Eagle Point in Bloomington, then stay for dinner at Sam's Clubhouse. Sam's Restaurants, professionals in the art of food and drink.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sellersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry.
Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Here's Jim Coyle.
How you doing? Well, I hope your week's going great. If not, we're going to end it spectacularly. We've got a little special treat. It's a little VJ in the house. Verdell, how you been, man?
Jim, everything's going well, man. How you guys been?
Okay, I cannot complain. Just getting through the summer. How's your summer been? What have you been doing? Taking a hiatus. For those of you who don't know, Verdell usually is with us on Fridays, but the summer schedule, he's been off doing some other things. Well, how's the summer gone?
Man, it's been going really good, actually. It's been extremely busy. I definitely miss you guys, but it was so much stuff going on at once. I had to, try to do this juggling act, and I wasn't doing very good at it, but it's been going well. For those who have followed my journey with the firefighting situation, I was officially offered the firefighting position about 2 weeks ago, and I accepted. So I'm going through that whole process now.
What did I tell you? I told you. I told you. What'd you say it would be 2 years? I said, nope. I said, there's no way they can leave. I told you. Man, I predicted that.
Yeah. So we started the fire academy in September. And then the great news is also that my former teammate in Greece that I recruited, he got it offered as well. So we'll be going through it together, man. So that's been super exciting. Also, people might know that I tried to run for mayor last year.
Right.
But out of that, it kind of jump-started my political aspirations, and I got asked to join a local congressional campaign here in town, here in the area as well. So working on a U.S. congressional campaign as we speak as well, doing a lot of fundraising and meet and greets and stuff like that. So, man, this summer has truly been quite busy. Almost too busy. Me and the wife, we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary on the 4th of July. We had a huge barbecue with a bunch of family and friends, and that was really fun and nice. Got our puppy. We got our puppy finally. Lady, our female Rottweiler. She's actually downstairs right now eating, or I'd bring her up. But so yeah, just been busy, man. My youth program is in full swing again. We have 2 tournaments left to finish up the summer. Just trying to do my part and help make a change.
Yeah, you're doing you're doing enough to make a change for 5 people, my friend. So you're doing your part and a few other people's, but we've known that about you. And congratulations about the firefighter, because we thought seriously it was going to be another year before you could try.
Yeah, the eligibility list lasted for 2 years, and they only had a couple openings right now, and they hired those people already. So I figured that it was going to be at least another year for my turn. But I guess they're actually doing a process called overhiring, because there's going to be quite a few people retiring this year. So They wanted.
Well, you should be used to that. You played for Tom Crean.
For sure. So it's been fun, man. Just getting my mind and body prepared. I did have kind of a little relapse in a old shoulder injury about a month ago, so just trying to get that healed back up and strong again. But man, things are falling into place, and I couldn't be more happier.
That is just awesome for you and your former partner. That's so cool. But it's so cool because for the town, the city, to have you guys there, that's going to be awesome. But it's going to be amazing when you go from now. Oh man, they're so screwed. All they did is screw themselves by not letting you run the last time, because now you're going to go out and become what? A fireman. You're going to go out and you're going to pull down kittens from trees and be on the newspaper. And then when it comes time to run for mayor, they are done. It's over, baby. It is just over. I'd be surprised if they just don't make you the communications director of the fire department right off the bat. They should do that as well. But yeah, you have a long way to go. I can see that, man. It is a long road not a long road of good things. Just lots of good things coming. But that means a lot of good things coming from those around you, because when you were doing good things, people are benefiting. That's a big difference. A lot of people do good things, but it's who benefits from that. Everything that you're doing, masses of people are benefiting. So thanks for being Verdell.
Appreciate that. Like I said, it's a journey that I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping it's a long, successful journey. My biggest thing is, like I said, man, it's people understand how many, chronic injuries that I'm dealing with. That's my biggest thing. I just want to stay healthy. I know it's going to be tough with a lot of physicality, a lot of the physical things that goes on with being a firefighter, but that's what I'm doing. A lot of my homework, groundwork now. Get a lot of massage therapy, a lot of working out, lifting, just trying to get my mind and body strong. So I'm excited, man. I appreciate it.
Lots going on in the world of IU sports. Of course, we haven't spoken since they made the coaching change, have we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, of course.
Okay, I couldn't remember when that happened. So it's been so long. But man, how about what Mike Woodson and staff are doing? They're just kicking butts and taking names.
Hey, man, when I remember when Coach Woodson was first hired and it was announced, man, I kind of saw a lot of this happening just because of what I felt he could do as far as bring the IU culture and alumni together, A, and then B, how enticing he would be to a young recruit who wants to go to the NBA. And I think that you're kind of seeing that formula come together. And obviously with Coach Thad Matta and the way that the whole situation is built, it's just built for success. And I think you're seeing a lot of things going on right now with that.
Well, you are seeing a lot of things, and this comment is up just because we were joking earlier. With the name, image, likeness right now, Logan Duncombe.
I saw that.
His shirt?
I saw that.
So Tony came up with a saying for his shirt. When my mullet is on the court, it's a business and a party. Not too bad.
I love it.
It's not too bad, yeah. So let's see. Parker Stewart has clothing line too. Okay, if this was name, image, likeness now, what would Verdell Jones be doing? What would clothes or fast food? What? Who would you be hawking?
Man, I'll probably be trying to make my rounds to Buffalo Louie's or Uptown Cafe or one of those guys, man. No,
See, smart man. Get fed. Man wants to get fed.
Hey, we spent a lot of time as a team in those places eating. So I would want some kind of discount or some kind of promotion with them for sure.
Absolutely, but that probably would not be a problem. But what do you think of the name, image, likeness, and all that, of these kids getting to do that now, like Logan Duncombe, getting to sell those T-shirts, which is crazy considering where we were. But
sure,
who gives a crap? I mean, why? It's so funny that a year or two from now, it is not going to take nearly the amount of time it normally takes after a major change to look back and go, man, that was stupid to have not done that. What the hell were they all thinking? Y'all were bitching over T-shirts? Really? Seriously? Y'all were bitching because they were, I'm like, golly. Because you look back at Steve Alford when he was suspended way back in the 80s for appearing on a charity calendar. That's where we've gone. Appearing on a charity calendar. That's it. And now we're selling cars.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I personally am a fan of it. I think you're going to start seeing some of those borderline NBA guys stay an extra year or two. I think it's going to allow those who come from nothing to make a little bit of something off their own names. It's also going to help them, I think, with their careers. The whole marketing aspect of it is going to turn a lot of these guys into mini businessmen. And I think it's going to be good. I do. I think it's something that's long past due. I think it's gonna be a recruiting tool as well. If I'm going to a place like Indiana where I know it's a basketball culture and I'm able to get these different endorsements, not just in Bloomington but all over the state, I mean, that's a reason for me to come. You know what I mean? Or do I go to a smaller school where there's not enough, there's not quite the same kind of basketball following to where I might not get all these endorsements. So these blue bloods and these big Big Ten schools where sports means a lot, I think you're going to see a lot of players starting to choose schools based on how much money they can make off endorsements.
Let's see. Tony suggested that you start a shirt saying there is no watch shot without a pass.
That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious.
No, we got to call it something else. A V pass or something like a V card. But there's no watch shot without a V pass, baby. Something. Or a V assist or something.
Hey,
that's right.
And I wish we had it around that time when we were playing, because we'd have made a lot of money. We'd have made a lot of money.
You could have made money just with a shirt of Christian Watford shooting the shot, and you're just like,
yeah, right, yeah.
I just get me in there a little bit, baby. I was in it.
A little picture of my face looking up, and
I get my cut. I get my cut. Say, I got these shirts for you, Christian, to sell. We need to sell these shirts. I get my cut out of it, but we still need to get Christian on it. He's been on before a couple times, but haven't talked to him for a while. Yeah, we need to get him on and talk to him about that exactly. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
What in the world? Oh my God. How many of those shirts would he have sold?
Oh, it'd been so many. He'd have made so much money. So much money. He'd have the whole team food and drinks when we went out. He'd been everything I've been on him, because he'd had solidly 6 figures.
Oh, that would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what was I getting ready to say? Names on the jerseys. We this is always a topic of conversation, and I'm gonna bring it up only because of name, image, likeness now. The sale of jerseys. Theoretically, Indiana could now sell in the bookstore IU jerseys with players' names on the back. Would you be for that, just for the sales, not on the floor, but just for sales?
Yeah, I'm a
because what was you're number 4, right?
I was 12.
12.
Yep.
There's been a lot of 12s over the years.
Yep.
They're not going to give a cut to all the 12 jerseys.
No.
Because Alfred's going to say, I want mine, baby. I want mine.
Exactly.
But yeah, a picture of Jones over the 12. I don't have a problem with it. I'm sorry. I know they go nuts on that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm over it. It just doesn't matter that big. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I'm a firm, while I was playing, I wasn't such a big fan, but I am a big fan of not having the name on the back of the jerseys while the guys are playing. I think that's something that should kind of stay sacred with the IU culture. But as far as sales, yeah, why not? Now with the new rule in, let's put the name on the back of the jersey.
Now, individually, the players can sell a red and white jersey. I don't know how closely they can get to replicating Indiana, without permission. They have to have permission. Now, if they get permission, they can use it, but you can probably just have an Indiana across the front because it's a state.
Right.
A red and white jersey with the word Indiana on the front and their name on the back, the number. Like you could have 12 jerseys, red, white, 12 jerseys that say Indiana across the front in a not so it doesn't look exactly the same, but I would think any player could do that right now.
Man, yeah, I'm still learning all the rules and the ins and outs of this whole new thing.
You know what? And while this has no bearing on former players like you, I would not be. Gives me an idea, but I'll talk about that more later. I'm an idea man. Yeah, but so as a former player, are you think it's good for these players to be getting all these deals now? There is a ton of good to it. One thing that I thought of last night and I wrote down is, will name, image, likeness have a positive effect because the brand is so important to these kids now? It's much more important, so they have to protect their brand. You can't be out jacking around and being a screw off.
I was just about to say that. Now, it's more and more a business now. And so, if you're going to double check yourself and double think twice about doing something that might cause you to lose endorsements. So, going to that party or doing this things or doing that things, you're gonna second guess yourself because you don't want to lose potential earnings off endorsements as well. And I think even if you look at high school, we talked about it before in the show. Even AAU now is all about marketing yourself and making your own brand. So I think there is some benefits to that as far as keeping guys on the straight and narrow, and keeping them focused on continuing to build their game. If you get endorsement this year and you have a terrible season, you want to keep those endorsements coming. So you got to stay in the gym. You got to keep getting better. You got to continue to develop your game, so you can continue to grow your brand. So I think there's a lot of positives from this. Obviously we won't be able to truly know if it's going to be positive or negative until everything plays out. But I'm hoping that this continues to keep a lot of those top talents who really aren't ready for the NBA. I hope it keeps them in college.
There's no way that there's not going to be some negatives. There's always negatives to anything in the world because you just don't always know what they are. Like you said, you got to let it play out. Things come up that you can't plan for sometimes, and I'm sure that's going to be the case to a degree. But there's going to be good that comes out of it too, like we said. And you got to pick the best parts, get rid of the bad parts, and keep narrowing it down to make it its best version of itself.
Absolutely.
I got to take a quick break. Do you have time to stick around for one more segment? Sure. All right, we'll be back with a little more Verdell after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Whether you're looking for
I got a great idea, Verdell. I've got a guy that's been reaching out to me wanting to sell shirts and stuff like merchandise, and I'm like, yeah, you do that. I ain't got time for that crap. but I always think about that because like everybody loves these stinking visors and our logos, which we are going to do that. But something else that just occurred to me is I'm going to also put together former player jerseys.
Ooh.
Now, what would you as a former player now that it's off the court and we just had this conversation, would it be okay to put Jones on? I'm not saying now that we're agreeing to this, but you would rather see a 12 with Jones on it, I would assume, than just a 12.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, that's a good business idea. I mean,
I got a guy that I'm meeting with, two different people that's going to be one of the things now. I'm like going, boom. Every former player, because how many freaking 12s are there? I'd have to look it up.
Yeah,
I mean, just right off the bat, you and Alfred come to mind.
Yep. There's a few of them. I mean, if you make an Isaiah Thomas one, I gotta get one. Just let you know.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
No, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Hey, if you need some investment money, let me know. I'll get in with you on that.
I'm meeting with a what do you call them?
Investor.
No, well, yeah, but that's not the word. Capital venture.
Oh, capital venture, yeah.
Yeah, venturist.
Capital. Yeah, I know what you're talking. That'd be a good idea, though. I think if there's a lot of players that fans still love and talk about. That if you,
dude, I'm talking going back to the freaking 50s and 60s.
No, exactly. Beginning. You go back to the beginning, man. Special. I like it.
That's so awesome about the firefighter deal, man.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Yeah.
Oh, I may have to one day. So that's in September, right?
Yep. The Fire Academy is 6 weeks, starting in September, and then I'll have to do like my.
Hey, we got 10 seconds. I hate to interrupt. We'll come back
stuff as well.
Will you be able to come back?
The all-new Andy Moore Honda now in Bloomington.
That's 6 weeks.
This segment is brought to you by Remax Advanced Realty, Indie Home Pros team by Cheryl Sizemore. Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Here's Jim Coyle.
Welcome back on this Friday. TGIF. Verdell Jones is here with us, making it all that more special. He is going to be a firefighter. It's official now, as well as his former teammate in Greece. What's his name?
Darren Williams.
Where was he from? Because he was from around here, wasn't he?
Louisville, Kentucky, actually.
I knew it was something. Yeah. That's crazy.
He played in Phil, then he went up to UI. He went to JUCO, and then he went to URC.
That is just so cool. But yeah, we were talking about all the changes in college sports, name, image, likeness. How about the transfer? If this had been in Kate when you were in school, how many guys would you have lost?
Oh man, I mean, we lost hella guys already.
Yeah.
I think having to sit out a year probably deterred a few of them from even leaving. But I think that those first couple of years when it was really a struggle, we'd have probably lost a few guys for sure.
Rick Bozich, who comes on with us, he's a Hall of Fame writer, has a great suggestion. He says that if you're a freshman, you should not be able to do the one-time transfer. If you do, you still have to sit out. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I don't think freshmen, 18-year-old kids should be able to come in, I'm not liking this, and move on. I do like that. That's something that maybe will be tweaked later, or maybe who knows. The NCAA has had more change. It cracks me up. They have always acted like any change is going to take. Oh, well, that the earliest that could be implemented, it would be 2050. Because that's what they used to say about the college football playoffs. Well, it's going to be. We've got a contract, and it's at least till 2038 that we can change this. Well, guess what? We're probably going to have 12 teams next year because the schools that aren't getting to go to the party said, we're sick and tired of watching Clemson, Ohio State, and Alabama collect all the money. And the Pac-12, the Big 12, they're like, we're done with it. And even some Big 10 teams.
Yeah.
And it is right. I think that upsets happen. Stuff happens, man.
That's one of the reasons the NCAA basketball tournament. I was about to say that's what makes the tournament so exciting. That those upsets happen, and that's what you want to see. You don't want to see the so-called powerhouses playing every single year in the same championship game every single year. You want to have that availability of being upset or of having different things happen, because all that's happening now is that these powerhouse teams are just putting their schedule together so that they can still be in those top 4. And that just waters down the whole game too.
American basketball, Team USA, in a little bit of trouble. They lost some exhibition games. Now they've lost Bradley Beals. They're still probably the best team, but they got to pick up the pace.
Yep. I think anyone who's listening who used to play overseas can tell you that it's 2 different games. All those little ticky-tack fouls that you're getting in the NBA, all those, swinging through to try to get a 3-point free throws, that doesn't work overseas. Those European refs, they're not calling that. It's a lot more physical. The defense can sit in the lane now. So now you have help side defense instead of just everything being one-on-one. So the whole game is different. I think you're seeing how some of these ticky-tack calls has kind of softened some of our NBA guys, because now they're going over to this Europe game where it's super physical and they're not getting those same things. Those Europe guys, those different guys who come to the NBA and who have grown up overseas, they're used to that. They're used to being able to play with that physicality and playing those rules. So, our guys they really gotta make a change and kind of adapt quick. And it's also too having a bunch of alpha males on the same team together. You got to have guys who are willing to play the roles and do things that they're not used to doing. Everyone wants to shoot, but there's only one ball. So who's going to rebound? Who's going to play defense? Who's going to make the extra pass? If they don't do those things, then, it could be some trouble.
And he's not the only one. There were Jeremy Grant was added to the protocol out of an abundance of caution. The team will not be in danger of disqualification from the Olympics due to contract tracing. Last week, 3 players on the select team, Emmanuel Quigley, PJ Washington, Miles Bridges, were sent home after being placed on COVID protocol. Now you got to look at replacements. My favorite is Devin Booker. Mm-hmm. He's playing as good as anybody. Of course, he's kind of busy right now. And that brings up the next topic. How about the finals? They went from look like a head shaker to maybe we're gonna have something here.
Oh yeah, I personally I'm enjoying it. It's 2 different teams. You don't gotta worry about LeBron in there this year. They go to states. You don't have the loaded Brooklyn Nets that everyone thought was going to make it. It's 2 first-timers. It's 2 one MVP, one future MVP, I think, with Devin Booker. It's just 2 young talents really going at it, man. I'm enjoying it. I mean, you've seen what Chris Middleton is doing. He's stepping out of his shell. I mean, it's been a fun playoff.
Yeah, and to see a guy like Chris Paul step out of the shadows, and the Suns. When is the last time a team like the Suns, who I can't call Chris Paul a superstar? When's the last time a team without a superstar was likely to win the NBA championship?
Man, I think it's been a while, probably since the Detroit Pistons days.
Well, I mean, you'd have to say Isaiah Thomas was a superstar. He's a Hall of Famer.
I mean, Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton and all.
Oh.
Yeah, a little bit later.
See, I'm old. I started thinking old days, man.
No, I hear you. No, I mean, they had a lot of good players, but no just straight out superstar. But I will have to disagree with you. I think Devin Booker has become a superstar in these playoffs. Seeing what he's doing and how efficient he is, and really, he's been doing this for the last couple of years. He's just been in Phoenix, where the market hasn't really been able to spotlight what he's been doing. But bringing in a veteran, guard and all NBA player with Chris Paul has really just changed that whole team's mindset. They finished the year off hot last year, and a lot of people thought, hey, it's just a little COVID thing. No one else is playing hard. That's why they're playing good. Well, they came out this year and really quieted everybody and played that same intensity. And what's even more exciting is how young they are. If they can keep that young core together and add, another superstar to that team, man, they could be a problem in the West for a while.
A little bit of news: former Indiana basketball player Chris Reynolds Vice President for Collegiate Athletics at Bradley, he's the AD there, has been selected by his peers to chair the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Committee for the 22-23 season. Reynolds also will serve as vice chair for the upcoming season, supporting Southland Conference Commissioner Tom Burnett, who will chair the group for the 21-22 campaign. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's big time, man. Chris he's a very good guy, man, and I hope nothing but the best for him. He's always been kind to me when I was there, and he's a Central Illinois native, so we have close ties.
Yeah, that is just so cool. He is someone who was in the mentioning for the AD position when it was open here. Former player under Bob Knight, with back in the early 90s with, our friend Todd Leary and Pat Graham and Calvert Cheney, Damon Bailey, Eric Anderson, all those great teams of the early 90s. He was Mr. Defense, man. Arms. All right. Just boy, everywhere. He was like it was like he had no bones. It was just arms going everywhere. I was like, God, I would not want to play against that. He's one of those guys that just would drive me nuts on the floor. Yeah. It's like having a gnat around you all the time. You can't get it away from you. It's like, God, he's like, dude, give me some room.
Right.
But that's exactly, you want to be that. And he was one of those defenders that just, man, it's like sticky glue all over you. Do you guys ever go, when you were players, did you all ever go back and watch or look at any of the games from that era, from like the 90s or whenever before you all came in the night? And was there ever any interwinding of those programs?
Yeah, definitely. We watched we watched the Syracuse championship game a couple times. We definitely watched some of the older Big Ten rivalry games between Indiana and Purdue. Because you got to think about it. When I was a freshman, most of us were from out of Indiana, so we didn't truly understand what the rivalry. We knew it was a rivalry, but we didn't understand how deep it was between IU and Purdue. And so Coach Crean, he would always take his time out to make sure, leading up to that week, that we truly had a good feeling and understanding about what it means to play Purdue and what that rivalry meant. And then obviously after the Kentucky game, we saw the Syracuse shot and those things as well. So just, Coach Crean, he always tried to implement, some of the previous generations and some of that atmosphere and try to tie it into when we were playing.
How important do you think that was, that at least he made that effort to try? Because that's one of the issues that Indiana basketball has right now is there's I hate to use the word disconnect, but that's the first word that comes to mind. A disconnect. You've got night era guys. You've got some Kelvin Sampson, Dockich guys, if you want to call them. You got Crean guys, and now you got some Miller guys. Mm-hmm. But they're all kind of different. A lot of you guys don't know a lot of the guys from the 80s and the 90s unless they came around a lot, especially if you're from out of state. Mm-hmm. It's like you point, it's not just the coaching, it's from where you're from. So there was that disconnect was not there for 30 years. Then all of a sudden it started. So getting that back together is one of the important things that I know that Scott Dolson wants, that the entire basketball family wants. How do you do that? How do you bring all that together?
I mean, I think personally, you get a guy who's a former IU player, and I think that's what you did. Coach Crean, don't get me wrong, he tried his damnedest to do his best to get guys here and for us to to meet them from Tom Coverdells to the newer players, to anybody, but he wasn't an IU guy, right? He wasn't a former IU Hoosier. He wasn't a former player. He wasn't a Bob Knight guy. So as much as he tried, he still didn't have quite that attraction that Coach Woodson has now. And I think you're seeing that. Coach Woodson is, I was at a AAU tournament this past weekend and met a guy who was working with IU and was saying, how much different it is now, how the culture is back to the old days, and how Coach Woodson is bringing guys in and is really trying to, bridge that gap. And that's what you need. And with Coach Woodson having the name that he has and having kind of the resume with IU that he's had before, I think, that's what you need to do to kind of tie everything together. You need one big ass tailgate where everyone comes in and has grabs a burger and just catches up and really gets to meet and greet each other to understand how, even though we're from different generations, we all had very similar experiences and similar loves for IU basketball.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think that Dane Fife showed. I think that shocked a lot of people because he's a Michigan guy from Michigan. Grew up in Michigan, spent the last 9 years coaching there. It's not that I or anyone else didn't think that he was, an IU guy in his heart. I didn't think that he was an IU first guy. Turns out he's an IU first guy.
Yep.
And that shocked me, to be honest with you.
No, that turned a lot of heads, at least for me. When the Dan Fife hire came along, I was like, okay, they got something special brewing over there. Because a lot of people thought that maybe Coach Fife was in line for, Izzo's job and this and that, and he would only leave if he got a head coaching job at IU. But for him to come and be an head assistant at IU under Coach Woodson, it showed what IU basketball truly meant to him and what he sees in the future of IU. And that's what's exciting, man. I think, getting guys like that to come back and be involved the way that they're being involved, that's the way that the culture can not only grow, but grow and build off of the history of IU.
Absolutely. And the coaching tree that used to be there under Bob Knight, that dissipated as well. I mean, that was unbelievable, that coaching tree, which that doesn't, I don't know how much that affects the program, but there definitely has to be effects there. When you don't have, it's just, do the guys want to come back as much when they're not from here, when their coach that they played for is not here? It makes it more difficult, I would think, or it just doesn't seem as inviting. It probably doesn't give you as much of a pull, especially you're different. You're a couple hours away, but if a guy's from Kansas or, even further away from that, or like say, oh gosh, dang it, from Colorado, the big guy, just left the team a few years ago. Crean, big guy from Colorado. Oh, Freddie, not Freddie, but
McSwain.
Not Freddie McSwain, but oh man, he hurt towards Achilles. Anyway, that's the guy I'm talking about. He's not, unless he's in the area, man, he's from Colorado. Who knows where he's going to end up? It's just where it used to be a constant parade. And that has changed. It'd be nice to see that go back. I think that is important to culture. Very important to culture.
A way to do that too is you got to make it exciting. Let's be real, Jim. When have we been this excited about a season in the last 5, 6, 7 years? When Coach Miller came in that first year, people were excited. That the year after I graduated, when we were preseason number 1, we were excited, but it hasn't been excitement around the team or the program like this in a long time. And excitement is what brings everyone in. I mean, that my senior year when we beat Kentucky, we had former players coming in because there was excitement around the program. And I think that you're finally getting that again. We got some big time transfers. We got a really solid team in this year, but we got a Coach Knight coach in there. We got a former IU Hoosier that's gonna be our coach. And so the excitement that's going on around IU this year, if we can win some games and do what we're supposed to do, I think you're gonna have a lot of excitement. It's gonna bring a lot of those former players back and bring a lot of guys, no matter where they're from or no matter where they're still playing at. You can see them coming back in the summers. You can see them coming back in the spring. You'll see them being involved at the end of the season.
Thank you, Michelle. Deron Davis is who I was trying to think of, man. Gosh, I could not get that out to save my life, but Michelle saved me. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. What else was I going to talk about? Man, I had something on my mind, but I forgot it. So what's up next for you as you prepare for since you know that's coming? Are you just getting in shape? What are you doing?
Yeah, getting in shape. Like I said, man, I know my during college, man, I had a dislocated subluxation of my left shoulder, and that kind of bothered me a little bit, but it's been good. And then I was doing some hard lifting about a month ago, and I had a quick little problem with it. So I've been going to therapy, getting a lot of that fixed. They said it's something that can be fixed, and it should be okay. So I've just got to maintain, continue to build it, continue to strengthen it. And that's pretty much it as far as the firefighting position goes. I got to take some more. I got to do some more tests and stuff like that. But man, my youth program, just trying to wrap that up. When I started the program up, I didn't want to be just another AAU program. And unfortunately, that's kind of what we've become. So I'm working with people here who are professionals and figuring out ways to not only provide basketball, but provide some career guidance and some help too. So trying to get that solidified and kind of, in place to start moving forward before the firefighting thing goes. But man, just trying to stay cool. It's raining like no weather here, so trying to stay dry. Is enjoying my puppy, man, and trying to raise her to be a good pup.
Forgot about the puppy. Speaking of the puppy, oh my gosh, John, the producer, also has a new puppy. Of course, his puppy's a yelper. His wife's home today. His wife's home today, so there's no yelping. We've been getting calls of puppy abuse all week. But how old is yours now?
She just turned. She's almost 4 months.
Where is she?
She's eating right now. Let's see. I'm going down there real quick.
What's her name?
Her name is Lady.
Man, did y'all think long on that? How did you come up with that? Did you have to pay somebody, a marketing department, to come up with that, Verdell?
The wife let me pick the dog, but she got to pick the name. So that's how that went.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I guess you got to pick your battles, huh?
Yeah, do you hear me? Come here. You're all right. Come here. Come here.
Lady.
Come here.
That's all the lyrics I remember.
So here's Lady.
Aw. Look at Lady. Oh, look how sweet she is. That is so cool.
Come here. She's the one that go in her cage right now, but
I wouldn't want to go in there either. Oh, look at this sweetie.
Yep.
Oh, what a cutie. Man. Oh, what a cutie.
Yeah.
There we go. Verdell, here, look here.
Yeah, there you go.
What's the name on John the producer? What's this one's name?
This is Lily.
Lily and Lady. Oh my
Lily
gosh.
And Lady,
We've gone very pink. Got a bunch of softies on here.
Get in there. Let's go.
Yeah, Tim suggested you name your dog Screech, John.
Get in there.
Screech.
That's pretty funny. I like that.
Hey, well,
man.
Verdell's puppy is 4 months old, so I guarantee you, when Lily's only 10 weeks old.
Oh yeah, I mean, she's 4 months old, but she's about the size of a small dog.
I was gonna say she was good size, but seems like just a sweetheart. What kind of a dog is that?
She's a Rottweiler. She's a female Rottweiler. So
wow.
We decided to keep her tail, so we had to go and pick her out when she was like 2 days old. And she was smaller and looked cute, so we were like, yeah, we'll go with that one. Next thing I know, she ends up being a big son of the litter. So we'll see how it goes.
Heck yeah, man. Well, Verdell, I cannot thank you enough for taking time to join us. We look forward for when you can get back on. Hopefully, we're right around basketball season as things pick up, and you are a firefighter. I'm gonna pick a day where it works out. We're gonna do a show from the station, baby.
Yeah. For sure.
Do y'all have the pole?
Yep, they got the poles and everything. Yep, they got the poles. They got the main firehouse is a really nice firehouse. That's what I'm hoping.
Where are you going to be?
We don't know yet. We'll visit. And then what's crazy is my 8th grade middle school coach is actually a fire lieutenant for for the fire department.
Say that again.
He's a lieutenant for the fire department.
Who is it?
My 8th grade basketball coach. So he's the one
Wow.
trying to put me on to the whole situation. So I'm hoping to be stationed with him. And if that's the case, then I'll be at the main firehouse.
Fire and hoops.
Yep.
Pretty cool, man. Yeah, I'm going to do a show from the station. I'm going down the pole, doing the whole thing, baby. It'll be fun. I can't wait. Verdell, man, congratulations. And congratulations to your former teammate as well. Forgot, what was his name?
Darren Williams.
I knew it. I was going to say Ronnie Williams. Darren Williams from Louisville. So we have a lot of listeners down in that area. So anyone that knows Darren, so there you go. Congratulations to him as well. Looking forward to that. So where's he living now? Has he been up there? I guess to become a firefighter, he had to be living there.
Well, he was actually in Madison, Illinois, which is probably about an hour and a half north of us. But he was applying to be a firefighter up there. Didn't quite work out, so he was actually going to be a police officer up there. And then the fire department had openings here. Ended up calling them, so he decided to go ahead and join the squad. So we're excited about it.
Man, couldn't be happier for you. Appreciate you so much. Tell your wife thank you for letting you come on. Tell Lady thank you for making an appearance. We appreciate her coming on as well, man. You always make the Fridays better.
Oh, man, we appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a good weekend.
You too, buddy. We'll see you soon. Verdell Jones joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat. We're back with more after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington.
Hey, Hoosier fans, whether you're...
All right, Jim. Appreciate you guys.
Hey, Verdell. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. Congratulations again. That's awesome.
Hey, let me know about that. If you need some investors for those jerseys, man, I'm serious about that.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to talk to that guy as soon as I get off the phone.
Great idea.
Well, and you know what? I'll tell you what. I'll just make you a part of this by helping get the guys in.
Okay.
And we'll just work it out. Because I this other guy that I'm meeting, he could probably whatever money we needed.
All right.
But you have what money can't buy.
Man, let me know. Let me know what I got.
Don't worry. You're in. You happen to be the guy that was on when that ding went off in my head, man. And the things go up and I'm like on boom. So.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. We'll be in touch.
You bet.
Yep.
All right.
That is going to be spectacular.
Hey, if you need a topic for these last couple minutes, I found this article. It's some of the best NIL deals made so far in college.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I've got 3 of them that I want to share and we can talk about real quick.
I hate eating right now. I'm sorry.
You're good. You got about a minute and a half.
Well, I'm just squeezing it in. God, there's so much to do. Jesus. For Big Ten Media Days, I'm like, golly. See, it's just going to disappear. The summer's just going to go.
I mean, I know all we got is this weekend, and then it's time to hit the ground running. Pretty much.
See, and I'm starting to get nervous already. I'm like, oh God, here we go. It's like that's why I'm trying to like hell to not do anything right now for like the next. Because I know it's like once I get into this mode, it's over.
Yep.
I'm getting hot just thinking about it. I'm not kidding.
All right, I'm going to bring us in.
With a family, meeting for lunch, hanging with friends, or on the golf course, Sam's Restaurants has multiple locations and something for everyone. Sam's Restaurant in Fishers has homemade coffee cakes and much more. Sam's Place in Broad Ripple has wings, tender steaks, and seafood. Sam's Ale House in Carmel and on 86th Street in Indy have a long list of craft beers and all of the right foods to go with. Plan a day on the links at Eagle Point in Bloomington, then stay for dinner at Sam's Clubhouse. Sam's Restaurants, professionals in the art of food and drink. This segment is brought to you by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Here's Jim Coyle.
Happy Friday, everybody. It's been a great day. Not as great for CJ Gunn. I think he broke his wrist. He's going to be out probably a month. Breaking his fall, non-shooting wrist. So there's that. It just sucks because you're in such a rhythm in the summer. At least it's not during the season, but you're in such a rhythm. It's an important time. It's not the world ending, but you just hate to cut that pattern off, especially as well as he had been playing. But he'll be back and at it. Like I said, it may give him time to work on things that he just would not have done because you don't force yourself to do things sometimes until you absolutely have to. Want to make sure I said, I just talked to Tony. He knows your show. Told him he needs to come on the show someday. He said, let's do it. That's funny because I ironically was just talking to my dentist, Reynolds Family Dentistry. I had to go down there the other day, and a lady that works there runs the dirt track in Salem and knows Tony and says, I'll get him on the show for you. It's just funny. His name just keeps coming up. So we've had Chase on. Definitely don't want to get Smoke on, but with the Brickyard coming up too, that'll be great. So let's plan it. I'm planning on trying to get both Chase and Tony Briscoe on separately as we get close. But thank you. I'll gladly send you my phone number or get his. Yeah, that would be fun as heck. I am a NASCAR fan. I've only been to one race in my life. That's because my brother is a state trooper down in the Charlotte area, and I got to watch the now Xfinity race from the press box right at the start finish line, and the Cup race. They have the condos in turn one there in Charlotte. And I was in someone's condo in a lazy boy recliner watching the Cup race. It's the wildest thing. It was just crazy. I'm like sitting here watching Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jimmy Johnson. And so I go around. I'm like, and I'm sitting in a damn lazy boy, like I'm at home, but I'm at the track. It was crazy. But thank you, RBO. We appreciate that. What NASCAR race is this weekend? Where are they? I forgot. You got IndyCar coming, I think, to Indianapolis, an Indy race at some point. When is the Brickyard? No, that was last week. They're Atlanta. So usually Tim's on that. Not on there first. So let's see. Man, I wish I'd have had that pulled up quicker. But it's a little slow to pop up today for some reason. That was they're still just showing me the performance for Atlanta, which I don't care. I don't remember where they are this week, but hopefully it'll be fun. Talladega. Yeah, that would be great. Well, I understand that. Yeah, that would be a blast. I'd like to run in a car in Talladega. That is what would be fun. Here we go, NASCAR schedule. Perfect. Let's see. The Cup Series. They are. Come on, man. Oh, we already talked about this. They're in New Hampshire. The race clip, the paper clip track. What is it? The not the Monster Mile, but the something else mile. Yeah. Those are kind of fun races, I guess, to watch. They don't go super fast, but Dale Earnhardt Jr., I was watching one of his podcasts last night. I love his podcast. I think he's great, but the best one I've ever seen that he's done has been with his brother, Kerry Earnhardt, who he didn't meet until, the Magic Mile, Wyatt, thank you, who he didn't meet until Kerry was like 13 or 16 or something like that. It's crazy. He's at Eldora. That's right. He loves the sprint cars and then SRX in Nashville. Gotcha. Eldora over there at Ohio. Of course, Tony lives in Columbus part-time. That's awesome. I forget what I was saying, but so wasn't that important, John? What was I saying?
Honestly, I was looking at something else too. I don't know.
You weren't paying attention is what you're saying. Hey, Big Nolan piped in. That's right. It is in August. When I want to know exactly in August when it is. I want to be prepared. Schedule, baby. Let's see. Cup Series. When are we going to Indianapolis? Come on, man. I don't care about the drivers. When are we going to Indy? Oh, man. I hate when they give you the wrong one. Is that – they moved it from – it used to be July 4th. They moved it around a little bit. Let's see. Coca-Cola. Come on. Watkins Glen is August 7th. Indianapolis, August 14th. Guess what? Gosh, darn it. It's when my daughter leaves for Ole Miss. I may have to go to Oxford instead. That's disappointing. But you know what's not disappointing? Getting to do this for you guys every day. It has been another fun Friday, but without you, there is nothing. I cannot thank Verdell Jones enough, Alec Lasley, and John, the producer. We didn't have anybody else on, did we?
Nope.
But you guys are the most important. Cannot thank you guys enough. Appreciate you more than you believe. Have a great weekend. Go out and have some fun stuff to talk about on Monday. And until then, we'll be back. I'll see you on the radio.